one of the first concepts you're going to have to deal with in film studies is genre, and genre is absolutely everywhere. But the good news is, you know all about genre really, because every time you go onto Netflix or any of those streaming services, you pick a movie based on genre. Because all genre really is type or definition of a movie. So off the top of your head you can probably think of 5 or 6 without much effort. Think about westerns or romance or action or horror or fantasy. These are all different types of genre. And this is a really important concept to your studies because 1, you're going to get tested on it, and 2, it's actually really helpful because genre allows us to break down the thousands of movies that are made every single year into discrete lumps, and it also allows us to compare movies from different times. So if you take a horror movie from say the 1940s and compare it to a modern one, you can work out things about how movies have changed, but also things about how the audience have changed. For instance, in the 40s we liked monsters like Dracula and Frankenstein. Now we're much more interested in human monsters, psychopaths, and that maybe says something about us and the worlds we live in. Now genre isn't just a label, it's also how we recognise the films that we look at, and that's done through codes and conventions, sometimes called iconography. Now codes and conventions are the things that make you know you're watching a particular genre. How do you know you're watching a western? Well, cowboys, cowboy hats, saloons, horses. Pretty easy one. Action movies, expectations of set pieces, the conventions of the genre, things like car chases, fights, shootouts. All of these things occur in your brain when you're watching a movie and help you put the label on it that tells you what you're watching. Now as you go through assessment, you might be asked about what genre means or what it does, and it's really asking you to reflect or consider whether genre matters and how that informs the audience experience and the producer's desire to make the movie. Because producers, the filmmakers, use genre to communicate to the audience what sort of movie they're buying. And some audiences like some movie genres better than others. Getting that communication right is really important. Get it wrong and nobody turns out to the movie, or as sometimes happens, they kind of walk out because it's not the movie they bought, because it doesn't match the genre they thought they were going to get. So quick recap. Genre is basically the type or the category of film you're watching, but it's also how you recognise that type and category, and it allows us to look at how cinema has evolved and the relationship between producers and their audiences too. If you have a look down below in the list of links, you'll find a couple of handouts that should help you take it a bit further.